Hi, I'm Nikki Woods, and we are going beyond the studio with executive chef Ayinde Howell. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. How are you, Nikki?
I'm good. Now, we've talked to you before. Last time it was with my partner in crime, Mama's Gone Wild co-host Mary Boyce, and we were talking about ways to incorporate the vegan lifestyle in a tasteful or tasty way.
Tasty.
Yeah, and still get the nutrition and all of that stuff. And I am pleased to have you back to talk about your new book, The Lusty Vegan.
Thank you. Yes. Yes, this is my first cookbook after many, many years of cooking in restaurants and private chefing and things like that. And this book is we call it a Cookbook and Relationship Manifesto for vegans and the people who love them. And it's a long subtitle, but that's it right there. You know, there's a lot of people out there who are vegan or leaning or vegetarian or interested in the world. And then there's a lot more non-vegans out there. So, you know, the likelihood of someone who is like a veggie or a vegan dating like what we call an omni in the book, or an omnivore or a regular person, then you're going to have to figure out how to like make it work. And that's what this book attempts to tackle in a tasty way.
No, I love it. And you do have a co-author that you keep referring to. Her name is Zoe Eisenberg, and she's a writer and editor who also focuses on food, dating, and relationship kind of issues. So, and I thought it was interesting because when I first read your long subtitle, I was like, oh, this is, not really for me. But then as I got more into it, I was like, oh, this is for me because I have kids who don't eat the same way I eat. And this could be a great way for us to, because it's like we have two separate meals,
Yeah,
And this is a good way to commingle. So tell me some of the things that are important to remember, not only in relationships, but also in eating when you do date someone who doesn't have the same title as you do.
Respect, communication, and compromise really are the top three things. So you have to, if someone who doesn't eat the same way you do, a lot of times, people will like, oh, why don't you eat this? Or why don't you eat that? Or what's wrong with you? Or what's wrong with this? Because when you don't share a meal with someone, it's actually, breaking bread is one of the oldest, traditions that we have as human beings. We sit down, we eat, you're quiet, you're enjoying the meal. It is what it is. When you're that kid or that person who's like, I'm having this while you guys are having that, then it makes people feel a little uncomfortable. But as long as there's like a mutual respect of like, you know what, this is you, this is me, we can still sort of enjoy the meal, then that's great. And communication in a sense of, letting your partner, your kid, your sister, your brother, whoever know, like, this is why I'm eating like this, be it for health reasons, be it for ethical reasons, be it for, just reasons for, the world and all that sort of stuff. This is my why. I don't want to talk about it every time we sit down and eat, but no, this is factually like, these are the reasons why. And then the compromise comes in, when you're like living with someone, your significant other, or your, I think it's a lot more prevalent in a relationship, in new relationships, and even people who are married, where you have to like say, okay, well, I'm gonna have this side of the refrigerator for my, for my sausage and my ham and my meats and stuff like this, and you're gonna have this side of the refrigerator for your tofu and your, tempeh and your veggies and all that sort of stuff, and compromise in a way that like, okay, well, maybe I won't, cook a ton of turkey when you're here because it has a smell that makes you gives you a headache, or I won't do this for you. Once you have to really work to compromise so that people are still comfortable in the relationship. Everybody's still having a good time,
And I guess one of the questions, because I know my kids don't want to try a lot of things that I eat because they're kids, and so you get that ew. But I've learned that even adults still have that, if they don't know what it is, they don't want to try it, and especially if they can't really pronounce it, then it's a problem for them. So how important is it, in love relationships that we are open to possibly trying some of the things that our partner eats, or is it important at all?
I think it's important, and I think that if you're, if you're dating someone who has, a drastically different dietary regimen, then both of you are open people. You're probably from the beginning. But if you are to run into someone who maybe doesn't know, I think the key is to give the person who doesn't know a good first experience. If they're like, I don't know, I don't trust this food, make sure it's good first. If they don't, because eating, it has to taste good. I always tell people all the time, like, you can't eat an idea. My idea of like veganism is one thing, but my food is what's going to make you like it. So let's give them something that's going to taste great, satisfy them, give them a new experience so that they can, and that's a bonding thing too. I talk about how people have so many different bonding experiences over food. It's the cookouts on the 4th of July your parents used to do, or the chicken your grandma used to make, and like there's these, but it's so much more layered onto just the food that we have to understand that and let people create new experiences with good food.
Gotcha. And you have a lot of recipes.
I do.
In this book, so it is more than just you all talking about relationships and talking about food. There are some very interesting recipes, like Cloud9 pancakes. I know I got a look at that recipe. What is different about the Cloud9 pancakes?
I wanted to make them. I enjoy a good pancake. Let me just start with that. And it's hard to find like a good vegan pancake out in the world. And so the difference with this is I used a cake flour mixture, which is basically a pastry flour and cornstarch mixture. That coupled with the almond milk makes it all lighter pancake endeavor. Because a lot of times with vegan pancakes, they come out a little flat and stuff. But these come out, they're wonderful. They really are.
You look like I had this. We went to the state fair the other day, and they had this deep fried pecan pie.
Oh my gosh.
And I ate it, and my son was like, you just look like you went through a little piece of heaven. And that's exactly the way you looked.
When it hits you like that, you're like, oh my God. Oh, that's so good. Yeah.
That's very cute. That's very cute. So how many recipes overall are there in the cookbook?
There are 80 recipes, and then
wow.
Yeah, and then you get to the back of the book, and there's a chapter called Hack This Book, where, like, from my restaurant experience, like, when you have something left over, you go back and you try to make something new the next day, right? So when I was creating the recipes, I'd have all these little leftovers, and I was starting to like mix and match them and make different things. And I was like, oh, this is something I can do, and sort of also teach people how to continue to use the book. Mm-hmm. So, for instance, I have an entree, a Moroccan tempeh entree called tempeh tremula, and then I take that and I take the sauce and the tempeh from that, and then throw in like a flatbread recipe and make it like a little pizza flatbread. So you see how
that's very cool. Yeah. And that's great for us who are trying to not just, because I don't like leftovers, period.
Right.
Because I don't like eating the same thing, more than one day, at a time. But if I can flip it, then it kind of makes it something different, and I'm not wasting a bunch of food too. So that's really cool.
Thank you.
Very good. So what is next for you? I mean, you like you said, you've worked in, you're an executive chef, you're a private chef. One of your clients we talked about before was, is India Ari.
Yeah.
You travel a lot. Now you have a cookbook out. What's next?
Well, I am continuing to travel and get the book out for the rest of the year. I'm actually going to be in Dallas on Sunday the 19th.
Oh, really?
At the Texas Veggie Fair, this weekend.
Oh, cool!
So this weekend I'll be in Dallas for that, and then a couple more dates on the East Coast, some dates on the West Coast. Probably chill for the rest of the holiday season, and then for me overall as a chef, I'm looking at doing more TV stuff. I did a web cooking show over the summer, which a lot of people like, so we're looking at doing some more of that. But more expanding the brand. I mean, the cookbook was like the first piece for me. Like, I've been in the kitchen for a long time now, I was a chef before it became popular, so I'm kind of, in a way...
It can't have been that long. It hadn't been that long. How long have you been a chef?
16 years.
Really?
Yes. Yeah, really.
You just look like you're 22?
Yes. I just look like I'm, I got them Sam Jackson jeans.
Okay.
I've been cooking. I'm 36, and I've been cooking since I was 20 professionally.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So, around 98, or I'm sorry, around 2008, 2006, 2007, 2008. Yeah, around that time when, becoming a professional chef was like the popular thing. I was like, oh, whatever, but then I'm like, all right, let me focus on this.
So did you start as a vegan chef, or?
I did.
Yeah. So that really wasn't popular.
Yeah. I actually opened my own cafe back in '99 in Seattle, and that was my first endeavor. Then I moved to New York, and I was here for several years working as an executive chef, and then the private chef thing took off. So I've been doing it for a long time.
Congratulations. The book is called The Lusty Vegan.
Yes.
And say the subtitle again. I keep looking for it.
It is a cookbook and relationship manifesto for vegans and the people who love them.
Very cool. And it's available where?
Everywhere books are sold.
Okay, great.
Yeah, you can search on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, wherever you want to look. It's there.
All right, great. Well, we appreciate you. Thank you so much, Chef Howell, for stopping by and spending time with us yet again.
Thank you, Nikki. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome.
All right. Bye.
Have a good one. Bye.